Hello. Hello.
Hey, hello.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good
Um,
morning. Spring. We both got our glasses on.
we're deciding, about glasses. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome
Happy spring, everybody.
Yes, first week of spring, right?
Yeah.
Welcome. I know it just goes ever so fast now, right? Welcome to Two. I'm just going to say welcome to Two Psychic Moms. It is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. And
twos going on again today.
We've got what?
We got the twos going on today again. All I didn't realize that. Yeah.
And we're Two Psychic Moms. I'm Julie Hawkins, the Biz Psychic. I'm at juliehawkins.com or bizpsychic.com, and I do personal readings, and I channel with Tammy, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm going to just close my email while Tammy talks.
Okay. And I am Tammy Langowski. You can reach me at Tammy's Intuitive Services or tammy'sintuitive.com. And I also offer reading sessions, private reading sessions. You can contact me on my contact form on my website, and I do some channeled messages and some videos and such on my social media, Tammy's Intuitive Services, for Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So that's us. So we have something today. I think we have a question today, right, Julie? That
we have a topic. Oh, God. Why does Felix have to dig in the cat box when I'm sitting right here? He's been very rambunctious this morning. Thanks, bud. And of course, I just cleaned them out, right?
Oh, well, naturally, yes.
Yeah, I call him my ADD kitty because everybody else in the house is sleeping except Felix. So,
he probably loves that time of the morning. Then
he's like that.
It's mine.
He mostly sleeps at night, but sometimes he's rambunctious then too. And anyway, I wanted to start with something that happened to me this morning because I want everybody to know about it, because it was a little bit of a surprise to me. I saw a number come through on my phone, and I will never answer a call. I'll say almost never answer a call, but I don't know the number, right? Because there's just an immense amount of spam and scam out there. And so I saw the number come through and I went, wow, that looks really familiar. I wonder, is that a doctor or what? So I picked it up and I hear this recording, and it says, your power will be turned off in the next 45 minutes if you do not come, and I didn't really listen to the rest. And I'm like, and I hung up and I went, my PG&E bill is always up to date. And but it unnerved me because the number was PG&E's number. And so I called PG&E, and she said, there is equipment, there are tools out there where you can pretend to be somebody else's number. And then they did a very professional sounding recording. And obviously they want you to push a button. So you go through and you give them your credit card information, end of story, right?
Right.
So she said, just know that since COVID, and they still have not changed this, that first of all, they're never going to call you. That's not how, well, they're not going to call you first. They're going to do all kinds of other things to let you know that you're behind, but they don't have a cutoff. They're not in a cutoff program. She said that is not changed since COVID. So she said, you don't have to worry about that anyway. But I was just like, wow, that was a very professional scam. I have to admit, it had me for just a fraction of a second, but I'm like, yeah, I know I'm really on top of my bills, but
it's concerning, isn't it? Well, I'm glad you shared that, because that's super important.
Watch out for those. Again, don't push any buttons. Nobody's going to call you and let you know that you're late like that, especially if you know you're not. And of course, just a reminder to never give out your credit card number to somebody that you haven't called, right? At the very least.
Right, exactly. Oh, yeah, it's very annoying, as we know, these scams, and they are so very creative, and they really do target, hopefully, some elderly people that are living by themselves that is one of their audience, I'm sure. Their hope, is to get people rattled. And yeah, so no, thanks for sharing that, because that, yeah, sounded like you said very professionally done.
I was shocked. I was just shocked. I'm like,
yeah. Yeah.
So just, yeah, keep that in mind. And it could be anything. I mean, it could be anybody masquerading as anybody, but
Right.
we well know, and we just need that reminder. Those places, 9/10 of the time, will not call you and tell you something like that, and if you're ever unsure, don't ever click a button or a link, call.
Right.
Call yourself.
Good advice. Good advice.
All righty. So did you introduce? Yeah, you did introduce yourself.
I did.
Sorry, I was closing my email, so I didn't
think, did you? Yeah.
the things in the background. So I was giving a reading last week, and she mentioned something about just manifestation and manifesting things. And I thought, wow, what a great topic for us to spend time on, because I don't think you can ever hear too much about manifesting and what stands in your way of manifesting. And
Right.
what do you think?
Right. No, it's a good topic. Absolutely. I want to say too, it was funny when you told me about this topic, my last channeled message that I just posted. So if you do want to check it out, like it says on my social media and stuff, but it's kind of around that. It was sort of weird. I mean, is it a little bit about the manifesting and beliefs and so forth. So anyway.
Why don't you start with that? Do you mind starting with that?
Would you like? So what was her question? Her topic was just around manifestation, basically, or?
We were at the end of the session, so we didn't have a question specifically.
Okay.
So yeah, let's just go and see what shows up.
Yeah, so the opening up to the world of manifestation. And it might even be something that I will read I could even read my message too, well, we can talk about our stuff, and then maybe I can read that if that's helpful. Okay, so if I tune into manifestation, opening up to my guides, angels, masters about manifestation. Okay, so they said it's about how you feel and how you do. So it's about what you see. It's about all of these things combined. They're sort of going right to the the gist of it, I think, is what it sounds like, right? What you feel becomes things. What you say becomes your reality. So manifestation can be something that you simply take time to focus on. I'm letting it come in very slowly here, sorry, as they're talking to me, and decide what you want to do with it. Are you trying to manifest a new home? They're going to use an example here. Then where do you see this home? What does it look like to you? What does it feel like to be standing inside this home? Maybe what does it smell like? They're going to the senses, like just kind of using all of your senses, right? You see, because that is what manifestation is about. It's about when you are centering your thoughts and feelings and intentions on something, it manifests. Some of this will be consciously done. We recommend that you get to a place within yourself where you're able to consciously do this. But regardless, you will be manifesting from where you lie your thoughts and feelings, even if you're not consciously aware of them. So manifesting, yes. So we say, start with some of these, but also understand that timing is a big part of this as well. They always show me the curtain, and what the curtain means is there's so much going on behind the scenes, synchronicity and timing and, all of these good things, right? And other people who have to be at the right time and place to help you with your manifestation sometimes, right? So it may not just be about you and about why is God not giving this to me? It's a lot of this and that combining together for the time. You're doing the work of being the creator, and the visualist is the word they're giving me. And being able to hear, see, and all of those, again, like we said, working with all of your senses that you are, they're just like gushing about, you were born with, and such gifts to have, so that you may really manifest what you would like. So please be patient with yourself in your manifestations. They do often come true. Now I'm going to what my guides have also told me in the past, that, you've probably heard this sort of saying. They'll say, Tammy, you will always get you will always get what you need. You may not always get what you want. It doesn't mean the wants won't happen, but what they mean is innately, we do often come in to a lifetime with these innate needs. For some, it's going to be the richest person in the world, or to be super ultra wealthy. Others, it is not. Maybe they've had a lifetime like that, or maybe they will in the future, but they are creating some different things. So your needs often will manifest. And I have found that to be true. I mean, the things probably, when I think back in my own life, that I have now are things that were important to me. Sometimes we don't always know that. So the wants doesn't mean you still can't manifest the wants. And again, that's where maybe some conscious creation, conscious alignment comes in a little bit, that might help you with some of those, creating some of those wants. So manifesting and manifestation is up to you as an individual, as a soul, from many lifetimes of gathering up what you felt for sure, and the knowledge of what you know for sure you need, again, often manifests. The cherries on the top, there shouldn't be cherries like on the top of Sundays, will be, the things that you are going for, your goals. And we encourage you to still go for those. Remember, you may not always get what you want, doesn't mean you won't get what you want. It just means your innate needs will be manifested. And they may be things that are not as, great as you might think when we say that. It may be things that you are really needing to learn in this lifetime. So again, you are the creators. We are all the creators. We do have opportunity to manifest. And there are tools you can work with in that meditation to kind of bring it more home, I think. But anyway, I will pass that to you, Julia. That's what my guides have to say.
I have to say, I just love that everything that you just said. I'm going to add my flavor, yes. What I've also been told in the past. And I just loved it. So yeah, thanks. And sometimes, things I say will trigger things for you, and things that you say will remind me of certain things. So timing, distraction, alignment. So when the law of attraction came into prominence, it was just this huge explosion of, you can have anything, you can do anything, and you can. And Abraham Hicks is so fond of saying, you can manifest a car as much as you can as easily as you can manifest a button, and or attract it, is really what their thing is. And so we agree with that. However, the things that were not really talked about during that whole resurgence of law of attraction is that law of attraction kind of works in two ways. You definitely attract what you focus on. You can also, and this kind of goes back to what Tammy was saying, you also can attract things that you don't necessarily think that you want, but that you need to have in your life to work on to get to what you do want. So it works both ways. In other words, you can manifest and attract what you want, and then you have to sometimes go through those obstacles and distractions and things before you get where you need to go. So, or where you want to go. So we want to talk a little bit about distraction and alignment, because sometimes manifesting can happen instantaneously, and that will happen if you are what I've always been calling, all systems are go. And so that is, you're aligned here, and everywhere. There's nothing that is an obstacle or a remnant of something that you need to work on to clear up in order to manifest. I can't tell you how often that happens or it doesn't happen. It's very individual. It depends on where you are in your life. What we will say is, in order to really manifest what you want, it needs to be your top priority. There can be a lot of distractions. And if your energy is scattered in a lot of different places, it dilutes the ability to attract what you want and to really achieve that and manifest that which you want to manifest. So we say, if you want to lose, this is me, if you want to lose 7 pounds, the elusive 7 pounds I cannot get rid of, maybe there's something out of alignment in me that I'm not quite sure about, or in my body that doesn't seem to want to come into alignment. It does have to be a really just an aligned and persistent, committed focus. So I'll give you an example. It was kind of right at the beginning of COVID when we were under house arrest and lockdown and all that. Not house arrest, but we were under lockdown. And I was just like, okay, I guess it's time for me to lose weight. I don't know that I thought about it consciously at that moment, but it became a very clear and top priority for me. And it happened very easily because there was really nothing else going on, because none of us could do anything else, right? So that's where all of my attention, focus, and energy went. And I don't remember how much I lost, 30 pounds or something. And so that's an example of when you are committed, your direction and focus are clear, all systems are go and line up. And it literally just dropped off of me. Okay. And now, not so much. So, if it was a top priority for me, I'd probably be thinking about it in a different way. I don't think it's a top priority for me. In fact, I tried on a pair of jeans today and they fit just fine. So I'm like, it's okay. So that's an example of alignment and commitment and focus. Now, of course, in the real world, or the post-COVID world, or whatever you want to call it, we are at a place where we have to balance and do a lot of things. We have to make a living. Maybe there's children in the house. Maybe there's building your business. Whatever it is, there's a lot of other things going on. And so to manifest and put everything else to exclusion is going to be a real challenge. However, it can be done. And as Tammy said, I think Tammy said this, meditation, focus, at least be persistent with your, and consistent with what it is that you want to manifest. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be out of control about it. You don't have to be like, oh, I've said prayers and affirmations for 3 months now and nothing's happening. It will happen in right timing with where you are and where you need to go. And you may get, we always say, be happy with 95% of what you manifest, because that's the way the world works. So was there anything else we wanted to say about that? We'll just say a little bit about obstacles, a little bit more, and then we'll pass it back to you, Tammy, to riff off of that. Sometimes things are brought to your attention, when I've been working on this and working on this and working on this, and why isn't it happening? There's something out of alignment. There's an obstacle. That's the time where, instead of saying, I'm going to keep working to manifest this, you maybe focus your attention on what is standing in my way. What is out of alignment for me? What are my real priorities? What are my real values around this? What is acceptable? What isn't? Rather than, why isn't it happening? And, I've done this and this and this. It's going a little bit deeper into, like we said, those values, priorities, and getting clear on what you're willing to have and do to have that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's where we'll hand it back now over to Tammy. Something.
Yeah, excellent, Julie and guides. Absolutely. That's what I was getting drawn to, because the whole topic of obstacles and things like that, and being in alignment with it, and yeah, just to add a little bit more on that, it is a really good point, because sometimes we have to ask, let's say we've been doing our affirmations and we've been doing things that, really we think we want, we've been putting it out there, which is all great. It's a whole package deal here. So that's part of the package. But sometimes I'm going to use again the idea of somebody who wants to bring more abundance into their lives. We'll say money specifically. I'm just using that topic. Okay. It's not true for everybody, and I realize that. But there are many people who would love the idea of winning the lotto or having this big, ultra wealth. Nothing wrong with that either. What we would say is sometimes you can go a little deeper into how it would actually feel for you. Sometimes they're hopping in here now. They're saying sometimes some of you think you want things, but the reality is, if you were to go in a little bit deeper and imagine having it, see what reaction you get in your body as a result. Now, this is not always the case, but I'm saying it can be, right? As like what Julie's saying, when the blocks, obstacles, and all that kind of stuff. So, for some, let's say it's about, I'm going to use that again, subject of money, right? So you might ask yourself, if I were to come into an abundance, huge abundance of money, right? And people do win the lotto. I'm just saying, right? Some people do, and they come into these really big things. So what you can really ask yourself now on the outward, you might be like, oh yeah, or I'm going to help people with this. I'm going to help, and that's all great. Whatever you choose to do with it, that doesn't matter. They said it's more about, be honest with yourself, what it feels like to you to be sitting in that big pot of gold, so to speak. Now, it might be surprising. They're saying that there are going to be some of you where there is a reaction of fear that comes up, guilt that comes up. It can be other things too. We're going to use that couple: fear, guilt, whatever it might be. We would say if those things come up, let them have a voice, because the first thing you want to do is go, oh no, I could handle it. What is that? No, I could absolutely handle it if I had, millions of dollars thrown at me, right? But don't ignore that. In fact, test it. Sit and see how you would feel with that amount of money. Some of you might be absolutely in your power with it and know that you are worthy of it. Bravo. Now, the ones that, let's say, win those big lottos, okay, where are they at with it? Well, they're some of them can be so innocent in it and don't really have any kind of feeling about it anyway. And so it just kind of falls in for them as an experience, right, in this lifetime. And then there are ones who really are absolutely in alignment with their worthiness, and that they know that they can manifest anything, including multi-million dollars, regardless of what they do with it. So we would say again, test it for yourself. Anything that you are hoping to manifest that you feel like, gosh, I've been wanting this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Dig a little bit deeper and be completely honest with yourself to see if there might be any fear around receiving what you're asking for. Well, if there is, what do you do with that? You speak to it. You dig a little deeper. You talk to it. Where's it coming from? Let it have the voice. Don't try to push it down because you want this so bad that you're not going to listen to the fear. Let the fear speak. Ask it some questions. Let it answer you. Ask another question. Get down to the nitty gritty of what it might be. It could be other lifetime experiences that have built up for you that you've brought forward with you. Or it could be things you've seen happen to other people as a result, again, using the example of the money, that have come into big things of wealth and maybe didn't do so good with their planning on it. There could be, there could be a lot of fears, or like guilt. Guilt's a big one. I have this, but my family member doesn't. Or, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So there, just what Julie was talking about, the obstacles can be there, and those are worth checking out. Anything you're really wanting to manifest, sit with it, ask yourself what it feels like to have it, see if anything comes up. It may or may not, but if it does, something uneasy, don't push it away, because you know what? You will most likely not manifest it then, because you're not getting real with that fear that's wrapped around it. Okay, so they just said that's what we wanted to, to add to that.
we're gonna riff on that too, because that was so important that it led me to this memory of and money's such a great example of using this law of attraction and manifestation and alignment. So years ago, Chris, my business partner at the time, and actually my life partner at the time, so what the point of this, and we're going to say this up front and then we'll give you the example.
Mhm.
It's important that you get real conscious of the things that just automatically come out of your mouth and you have no awareness of. So there were times that Chris would say how much she wanted money and wealth in her life. And then we drive down the street and she would have these sayings about, oh, those rich people, that's all they know how to do. And they always do that. And then, and degrading rich people, right? And I was like, do you hear yourself? You're asking for money and how much you want this, but then you're degrading people who have it. That is a direct example of being out of alignment. You cannot hope to have whatever it is that you want to manifest and degrade it in this at the same time, right? That's clearly out of alignment. And if you're not aware of what is coming out of your mouth, you're just going to keep doing it. So our suggestion is just pay attention to really everything that comes out of your mouth, because those little nuggets will come out when you least expect it, and you'll just ignore it. You won't even think it's worthwhile. And it is so worthwhile to pay attention to those things. That's where the juiciness, that's where the obstacle is, like Tammy said. It's that unconscious information that you want to bring to the surface and really deal with. If you're not okay with rich people, blah, 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 then you're not okay with having it for yourself. Or maybe you are, but you need to work through some of the incongruencies that you're demonstrating there. So, and to prove it, after Chris died, I'm telling you that money just like falls from the sky for me. I don't have an excess amount of it. I have what I need and then some. And I never worry about it because I deserve it and money comes to me. And I've worked very hard in my life and I don't care where it comes from. So it, as long as it's legal, right? You know, it's, I'm in complete alignment with that.
Yeah. That's awesome, Julie. And that's a great example. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, because that does kind of go to, the ideas too, along the same ideas, looking at what your conditioning was in your family dynamic of money. And that is a known thing, to see what did you believe about money? What messages were given to you? Was it like, it's always a struggle and it's never here? Or was it that, it'll come in, we're hard workers, we're going to do what we need to do. We just trust that, we'll do what we need to do. You get my point. So you can visit that as well. You can. It doesn't mean if you came from a family where money was out of fear and struggle, it doesn't mean you can't overcome that. Of course you can, you can, and you can, but again, that's unearthing some of that obstacle, to look at again and give it a different message. See yourself as that child, have a talk with a child, when you first might have thought you were really seeing any of that. Let's say it was something sort of negative message in the family around money. And you can have a dialogue with that, retraining that child's, belief system in a sense, right, on money. So do take a look at that as well. Doesn't mean you're stuck in it just because you had it as a kid or growing up in the family. But it's okay to look at it because, again, that's kind of, like you're saying, unearthing, the fears around, around that belief system. But yeah.
And it's there's so much wrapped into this. I feel like we could riff on this all day long.
Yeah.
I'll just add, this came up after that too. I remember for years, I would answer, the door to salespeople wanting to sell me stuff, or, in the store, or the Girl Scout cookies or whatever. And I would say, no, I can't afford it right now. It's not in my budget. And it's like, what's the message you're sending?
Exactly.
And then later I would say, after I realized that that message that I was sending to myself, I would set a boundary and just kindly say, no, thank you. That's all. Just no, thank you. and let it go. And, that can be persistent. And I would say, yeah, I appreciate that. No, thank you.
Yeah. Great point, Julie. Be aware of the talk, the self-talk and what's coming out of your mouth. Absolutely. And if you catch it, put a reverse counter affirmation. I always say, always flick the negative one out of my aura, because we've all done that, right? And you think, well, whoa, that just sounded so bad, and then do a counter positive affirmation. Yeah, that replaces, that, oh no, money comes to me easily. I'm always abundantly secure. In fact,
I can't afford it. I choose to not have it.
Right.
Or I choose to not buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
It's just, there's a lot wrapped up in manifestation and attracting and obstacles and distractions and unearthing and all of that. And it was a brilliant topic. I'm glad you touched on it in yours briefly and that it was brought to us. And yeah, if there's more questions around that, please feel free to send them to us. More.
And would you like me to share that that message I had?
Of course.
That I got. I mean, it might be helpful. Some of you might have already read it. So I'm just reading it from my phone. So this was channeled from my guide. So I do those, I do these channeled messages and post them on social media. So this one said, our guide said, when you believe you are wise, ultimately you become wise. You see, when you believe you are, then the very thing you've wished for will arrive. When you believe that you are worthy of all good things, then good things will manifest in your life. When you believe you are ready to receive, then abundance comes your way. Belief is a powerful manifesting tool, the most important tool that is delivered to you at birth, one that you recognized from before, and once again, quite eagerly accepted into your cute little chubby hand. You remembered its significance. Hold on to your beliefs, talk with them, ask them questions, let them have a voice. Please remember, friends, the clearer the intention, the more your beliefs become. That was from our guide.
Oh, so brilliant. Do you know, boy, I just feel like we could just keep going. I have something I want to add,
Sure.
That was so brilliant. I want you all to go back and play that again. Or go to Tammy's site where
whatever. Yeah. But yeah, just
and play that as an affirmation. I had so many tarot decks, and I just stopped using them when I found the records. They're different. But as somebody in one of my groups my women's group made mention of a new tarot deck that she found, and it's called, I'll plug her. It's called the Light Seers Tarot. And I just pulled a card right now. I'm like on this topic of manifestation and money or whatever we want to manifest. And here's the card that came up. It's the Two of Wands. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with the tarot or tarot. And if you're not, that's fine. I'm going to read to you what it says. And she gives the light side and the shadow side. But so it starts off with Light Seer, planning your future, making progress, activation, possibilities, the choice between your comfort zone and new adventures. The shadow side, insecurities, the fear of taking the next step, being stuck in your past, feeling worried about your abilities, opportunities for alignment. So right on target. Now, I'll just read a little tiny bit more. There's not a lot. You need to make a choice to really do what you want to do. Does this not fall into what we were just talking about? Or not do it? You can dream it and envision it, or you can begin to live it. Planning and imagining can have us feeling like the observers of a dream, and our action is the only way to bring that dream to life. Yeah, okay. Well,
love it.
We'll have to riff on that later.
Love it.
It's time to choose between the wand that's cozily rooted in the place you already know, or the one that leans into exciting new possibilities. Take a deep breath, because self-initiated change can be scary. Don't we all know that, right? The only way to make strides towards your goal is to make your move. Learn that thing, call that contact, make that decision. Non-action won't get you there and will likely have you feeling the angst of dreaming the dream instead of walking the talk. Use the fire energy of the wands, how aptly that she put that in, to initiate your shift. And then for an affirmation, she says, The world is filled with opportunities for adventure, and I welcome them into my life with planned action.
Love that.
So
Great.
wonderful, really brilliant topics to for you to not just the topics, but affirmations that and information that Tammy channeled, and then just this information from these cards.
And from Julie, yeah, from all of our
So go
guides.
back and listen to what you need, take what you want, and move through your time and day. And there was a lot in this session. So
there was. Yeah, we hope it was helpful for you. It is a really good topic and one that applies to everybody. So
I think that's it for now, right, Tammy?
It is, yes, I think so.
So until next Tuesday, we're good for next Tuesday. We're two psychic moms. You know how to find us.
Yeah, any questions, that are general for all? Yeah, definitely. Please let us know. We'd love to channel responses for you.
See, even just that little topic. Well, it's not really a little topic. It's a big topic, but just in passing, she asked about manifestation. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be a good topic for us to talk.
Good one. Absolutely.
So thank you for that. And please keep them coming. Just those little things, if there's any part of that we talked about that you want us to delve deeper into.
All righty. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
Okay. Bye-bye.